Then, and I've asked Dr. Wilson if he would lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now you can see what you look like on TV.
Okay, number 3, regular meeting minutes. I need a motion to approve our meeting minutes for March 27th, 2023.
Also move.
We have a second?
Get your mic on. We had a second.
Second.
Okay. All right, Amber, would you want to call for a vote?
Sure. I guess we'll do a vote of acclamation. All in
Yeah.
favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, do we have a call to the public, Dr. Wilson?
No, ma'am, we do not.
Okay, makes that easy. Moving to number 5, consent agenda items.
A through what does it go?
M. L through A through M.
All right.
Wait, can y'all hear me?
Calvin. Sorry,
Somebody's in trouble.
sorry. All right, did we have a motion to approve?
Oh, I thought somebody.
I'll move that we approve the consent agenda items A through M.
I'll second.
Mr. Watkins,
Okay.
second.
Okay, we have a first and a second.
Yes, we
Is
do.
there any discussion? Any discussion? Okay, Ms. McAfee, will you please call for a vote?
Yes, all approved, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Okay, 6, we are personnel. Dr. Wilson.
Madam President, unless there's questions for me, this is just the routine onboarding and offboarding of faculty and staff.
Okay, so do we want to combine A and B?
Madam President, I'll make a motion that we combine A and B under personnel.
I'll second.
Okay, is there any discussion? All right, hearing none, let's call for a vote.
All right, Hart,
Aye.
Boyle,
Aye.
Lane,
Aye.
Covington,
Aye.
Watkins,
Aye.
Boggs,
Aye.
and McAfee is an aye. Motion carries.
I'm not sure
Okay,
we,
number,
excuse
sorry?
me. I'm not sure we voted on the actual item. The motion was to combine the two,
A and B.
A and B. We
Oh,
did
was
not
there a
actually,
C?
that's what we voted on.
A and B only. Yeah, I thought it was
So
just
we
A
need
and
to
B.
call the vote for the item A and B.
Actual item.
It would be
Okay.
for the personnel agenda, item 6A and B, and I will so move if you desire.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? All right, Ms. McAfee, let's call for a vote.
All right, let's do a vote of acclamation on this one. All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, number 7, IGA with Queen Creek Unified School District. Dr. Wilson.
Madam President, members of the governing board, 2 parts to this. The first part is that you had given us direction to work out and resolve the issues that existed with the existing IGA with Queen Creek Unified School District, and we did just that. Both Queen Creek Unified School District and as well as EVIT have signed the document, and so we're progressing in the direction that was directed to us in executive session. I think that there's an opportunity, should there be desire on the part of the governing board, to speak a little bit about the why behind some of the choices the governing board made. I think that the governing board has shown great leadership and courage in terms of navigating through this issue, but oftentimes, as it should have been, because it was seeking legal counsel, That information was shared in an executive session, and it certainly can be left that way. Or now that the issue is resolved and it's a public document, there's the potential, if need, if not, then we can move on to speak a little bit more freely about the IGA with Queen Creek and some of the reasons why we wound up being in the situation that we're in and then moving forward. So I'll leave that up to the governing board.
Since I have not seen this document, I would like to go to an executive session to go over what the deviations are, what you've done.
Be happy to do that. What we did is what you directed us to do in executive session.
Memory does not pay well, but
I don't know if Mr. Covington was at that executive session.
I don't think he was. That
So,
was the last meeting, correct?
correct.
I was there.
Was it the last one or the meeting before? Because they gave
I
us
think it
two.
was two, I think it was 2 meetings ago.
It was 2 meetings ago, then I wasn't there. Then it was silent. No, wait, I was at executive session last meeting, okay, that we had. Is it from that last meeting?
No, I think it might have been the one before. I think the executive
That's
session
one
we had.
that I don't know.
So I can, is it? I'm trying to see if it's in your board backup. Oh, it's not? Yeah. We can get a copy of it and I can do the highlights. It's not, there's no, I mean, we can more than willing to go into executive session. I don't know that it's needed to, because it's an agreement that's been crafted and signed off by both parties. The point I was trying to make here is that I think that there's times in which you all and governing boards in general make decisions in an executive session and give direction in executive session that isn't public knowledge. And I think sometimes the gap allows people to fill in spaces with a narrative that isn't necessarily reflective of the reality of the situation. So specifically, Mr. Covington, in this IGA, this revision amendment to the IGA is a much more diligent crafting of the familiarization plan on the part of Queen Creek Unified School District, so that we don't be so that we're not in the situation that we're in now moving forward in the future years. In addition to that, part of what was added to this is that it's our desire to be able to get the mailing addresses and email addresses, a list of both its 8th, 9th, and 10th grade students. One of the things that we believe is that by the time a student is a sophomore, if they haven't had the opportunity to get exposure to CTE, to EVIT, to the opportunities that are existed, in many ways their master schedule is very limited in their ability. So by us being able to reach out and start communicating to them in 8th grade and 9th grade as well as 10th grade gives us the ability potentially to have a much greater influence on students and their future opportunities long before they hit high school. Also was cleaning up some of the language that allowed us to have, for example, the EVIT website on the main page of their high school websites. In many of the cases, what would happen is that the EVIT link would be on the website, but it would be buried several pages behind and not prevalent on the front of the high school website. And we believe that if a parent is searching for, a student is searching for EVIT at their local high school, the ability to have quick access to that was more advantageous to being able to provide the communication sooner rather than later. It also created some expectations on which individuals from the institutions will be responsible for some of the connections and conversations. I think where we wound up having some disconnect was who is ultimately responsible. And so we spelled that out more clearly on who on both ends are ultimately responsible, as well as being more specific in that when we're presenting, it's us presenting the information, not necessarily a third party presenting it for us. I don't think there's, I think EVIT staff, faculty and staff understand the work that we're doing. No disrespect to anybody, better than anybody, because this is the work that we do. So for us to be able to have that direct contact and communication was important to us, as well as having presence at their open houses and different things that we believe would be more advantageous in terms of communicating to the prospective students and their families the benefit and opportunity that EVIT provides. All of this was a result of a breach in the IGA by Queen Creek Unified School District in which there wasn't adherence to the familiarization plan. And what that ultimately means is that students weren't given a timely opportunity to get information about EVIT and make an informed selection of EVIT prior to their master schedules being built. And so in violation of the IGA, the governing board made the decision that in order to make sure that some of these systems are fixed, that some of the programs weren't approved. Queen Creek did not have the programs approved for any of the duplicated programs, nor the programs that were non-duplicative at Chrismond High School.
And this is most of the education that they're going to get is going to be in the fall.
Say that again?
The dates for this are mostly in the fall,
They're largely
All
in
of
the
them.
fall, yes.
okay?
Yeah, early in the fall.
And the emails, you say you're getting student emails or the parents'
Parents.
emails?
Parents,
Okay.
yeah.
I just want to make sure it's parents. I didn't think we'd want to go after kids' emails. Thank you.
Dr. Wilson, what kind of extra manpower will EVIT have to put forth to accomplish the extra that we are attempting to fix these issues with Queen Creek?
So, I obviously there's going to be a bit of extra manpower simply because there's a greater onus and responsibility now than what existed before. Much of what was described in here would be able to be captured within our existing structure. It just wasn't utilized from our perspective efficiently by Queen Creek this past year. But there will be a need to have additional resources applied to Queen Creek Unified School District based on some of the additional requirements that were placed in here. Now, we haven't quantified that amount to be fair.
Oh, so we don't know what that would cost?
No, we don't, and I think that in addition, no, we don't. I think that I think as we get into it, we're going to probably find that there's going to be more administrative costs as we start trying to not only engage with the 9th and 10th, but the 8th, 9th, and 10th. Much of what, like I said, that is here was stuff that we were already prepared to do. We just weren't given the opportunity to do it.
Okay. So I guess we will revisit what it's going to cost, if any, later on.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
So unless there are further questions or concerns, I just wanted to give you the opportunity to know that we closed the loop on the Queen Creek IGA based on the directions you gave us, and to Mr. Covington's point, to be able to understand better exactly what those directions were.
Thank you.
Okay, any more discussion? All right, let's move to 8, authorization for associate's degree program.
Madam President, members of the governing board, as you're aware, this past legislative session afforded CTEDs like EVIT to offer the associate degree in certain programs. We've been frantically working to try to build the capacity to offer those, and one of the requirements by statute is for us to get approval by you for programs that we intend to offer. Every program that we add or will attempt to add will come before you for approval. We're targeting having January be the rollout of our associate degree programs, and in order to do that, we've been building our gen ed curriculum as well as continuing to refine our surgical tech, our RN, as well as our paramedic. But as we get closer to that date, you are required to approve the programs that we plan to offer. And so we come to you tonight asking for your approval to begin offering the surgical technology, registered nursing, and paramedic associate degrees beginning with tentatively in January 2024.
Okay, is there any discussion? Anybody have anything they want to discuss about this? No? Okay, so I guess I need to ask for a motion to approve the authorization for the associate's degree programs.
I'll move that we approve the stated programs to move into the associate's degree program.
I'll second.
Okay, first and a second. Ms. McAfee, can you please call for a vote?
Yes. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, staff report, Director of Legal Services report. First, A.
Thank you, Board President. We had a lawsuit pending when I was hired back in 2019 involving a woman who was injured by an errant sofa. Last week I decided to check the status because I hadn't heard anything about it in a while. And apparently it got settled in 2021 without my knowledge. So right now there are no pending lawsuits against EVIT. But
Yay.
I've asked for a copy of the settlement agreement, and I will bring that to you when I get it.
So they just don't need to contact us?
Apparently,
Who settled,
All right.
the insurance company?
the
or-
insurance company did, yeah.
Okay, well, good, that's good news. Better than not. All right, B, superintendent's report.
Madam President, members of the governing board, just a couple quick items. As a reminder, now till the end of the semester, things get pretty hectic and pretty busy, and so there's gonna be a lot of opportunities that come your way to engage in seeing our students do the exceptional work and get the recognition that they deserve. We have our completion ceremony, which is, I believe, May 15th and 16th. We have National Honor Society, National Technical Honor Society inductions, which I believe is Thursday night of this week, and I want to say Tuesday night of next week. We have our video production movie night that's coming the 19th, and there's just lots of other events that Tammy will send your way. And I just encourage you, if you have the opportunity to take advantage of participating in some of those events, because it's really exceptional, the work our students do and the work our faculty and staff do, and to see those celebrations. So it gets busy. I just encourage you, if you can, to take advantage of as many of those as you possibly can. And that's it. That's all I got, Madam President.
Good, look forward to seeing all of those, Tammy. Thank you. All right, our closing items, calendar. Anything for the calendar? No? Okay, looks like we are at B, adjournment,
Also move.
of course.
I'll second.
I'll second.
We got a
All
second.
right,
Just call.
yep, just call.
All in favor, say aye.
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 We're adjourned.
Okay, all right, adjourned. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.